This first clip comes from dashcam footage recorded in the early morning hours of November 13th, 2020. Three friends were driving together when out of nowhere, a patrol car pulled up alongside them. At first, it seemed like just another vehicle on the road, until one of the backseat passengers leaned out the window holding a shotgun. The weapon was aimed directly at the friends, forcing them to slow down. The attacker's car swerved into their lane, trying to cut them off and bring the vehicle to a stop.
Oh, cuidado! Cuidado, pá! Cuidado, pá! É um assalto. Anda, não anda, não. Não para. Não para.
For a moment, it looked as if the friends had no choice but to give in. But at the last second, the driver swerved around the blockade, narrowly avoiding a collision, and the chase began.
Polícia.
The attackers pursued them for several tense moments, headlights glaring in the rearview mirror, until the friends made a desperate move. They veered onto an interchange of the A1 highway, going the wrong way. Only then did the armed car back off, leaving the friends shaken and terrified. After driving only a short distance against traffic, the group pulled over, their adrenaline crashing as the reality of what just happened sank in.
Faças isso, não é contramão, mano. Não, já está. Liga os quatro pistas, Vem cá. Senão eles seguiram sempre. Vem cá. Vai devagar. Não. Vai devagar. Para, encosta o carro. Para. Mano. Para. E do nada eles atravessaram-se à nossa esquerda e tentaram nos assaltar e caçadeiros. Deram-nos um tiro. Calma.
One of the passengers can be heard hyperventilating, struggling to process the encounter. Later reports revealed that just before this attempted carjacking, the same trio of robbers had held up a gas station nearby. Police also believe they had been behind several other robberies in the greater Porto area in the days prior. Authorities suspect the men tried to steal the friend's car as a way to switch vehicles and avoid being noticed by patrols searching for them. In the end, the friends managed to escape unharmed. But the violent encounter on that dark road was linked to a crime spree that had already left a trail of victims across the region. This next video begins with a driver recording a suspicious vehicle stopped directly in front of him late at night. For several moments, nothing happens. The car just sits there, its taillights glowing in the dark. The recording driver watches closely, trying to figure out what's going on. Then both the driver and passenger doors open. Two figures step out and begin moving toward the car that's filming. Without hesitating, he slams on the gas and speeds away from the scene. According to his account, the encounter had actually started earlier that night. After leaving a friend's house, he noticed the same car following close behind. To test whether it was coincidence, he pretended to merge onto the highway, but at the last second switched onto the service road. When he reached the next overpass, the car had already exited and was waiting for him at the light. At that point, he was certain he was being followed. Making a U-turn, he tried pulling over on the opposite side of the highway, only to have the suspicious car pull over right behind him. Every move he made, they mirrored. In a last attempt to gather evidence, he pulled into a turning lane near a hospital and began recording with his phone. He hoped to catch the license plate before calling 911. But when both the driver and passenger began stepping out, he quickly sped off, realizing the situation could escalate. He dropped his phone in the process, but managed to head toward a nearby grocery store where a police officer was usually stationed. Once he turned in that direction, the suspicious vehicle finally broke off the pursuit. The driver later admitted that if the passenger hadn't moved when they did, he would have been forced to hit them just to escape. Fortunately, he got away unharmed, but the entire encounter remains a reminder of how quickly an ordinary drive can turn into a potentially life-threatening situation.
I think that was great.
This next clip was recorded on the morning of October 4th, 2023 in Cape Town, South Africa. Traffic was moving as usual when a driver's dashcam caught a scene that quickly turned from ordinary to terrifying. On the side of the road, two men could be seen sitting casually among other pedestrians. At first, nothing about them stood out, but as the driver approached, one of the men stood up and made a subtle hand signal to the other. Almost immediately, the second man sprang into action.
I think that was great.
Thank you, guys. Okay, just one correction. The mountain is much older than 90.
Never mind, zero, table boy.
It's celebrating its 90th.
100%.
But thank you. I love the spirit. I love it.
He ran straight into the lane, directly in front of the car, pulling a gun out and pointing it at the driver. For a split second, the road became a trap, boxed in by traffic, confronted at gunpoint. But instead of freezing, the driver made a split-second decision. He accelerated forward, hitting the armed man and breaking through the attempted ambush. The entire encounter lasted only seconds, but it highlights a frightening reality. South Africa has one of the highest rates of carjackings in the world, with organized groups often staging attacks in broad daylight. For drivers in cities like Cape Town, what happened here is an all-too-real danger, and this driver's quick thinking may have saved his life. This next dashcam video was recorded on April 30th, 2024, in Westmoreland, Kansas. Unlike most storm chaser footage, this clip comes from a car parked beside a house, its camera quietly watching the neighborhood when the storm struck. At first, rain pelts the windshield, with trees swaying violently in the distance. It looks like a typical severe thunderstorm. But within moments, the wind accelerates, and the scene changes drastically. An EF3 tornado touches down nearby. Trees begin snapping, debris scatters across the yards, and entire houses are torn apart right before the camera's lens. What had been a calm suburban block is reduced to chaos in a matter of seconds. The parked car itself even rocks under the force of the wind, though it somehow remains in place. When the storm finally moves on, the true scale of the devastation becomes clear. The aftermath shows homes ripped apart with walls collapsed, furniture and belongings thrown across yards, and entire structures reduced to piles of debris. For the residents of Westmoreland, the tornado left behind more than just damaged homes. It left an entire community facing the long process of recovery. The dashcam footage and the aftermath together capture both the violent power of the storm and the heartbreaking destruction it leaves behind.